So I think that the best organizations are ones that say it looks like coming up in the next fiscal year, there's going to be some headwinds. So let's just sort of batten down the hatches and let's try and make sure that everything is um, ready for when those economic headwinds are coming towards us. We're pre-prepared. We've got food in the larder. We've got extra gas in the tank. We're prepared for it, right? So yeah, the best organizations and almost every leader kind of does that almost um, automatically, if you will. I think that sometimes, and I think I've seen this with some younger leaders that I've advised is that they may not have gone through as many economic downturns and upturns. And if you learn how to manage when things are constantly growing, the cost of money is almost zero. There's no issue of super high interest rates. The cost of money is suddenly, all of a sudden this is something completely new, but it's actually something that happens every number of years that there's a downturn. And sometimes it's a question of, gee, I'm not so sure how to manage through this because I've only got all of my experience managing growth. In larger organizations, interestingly, when you're releasing products over and over and you're innovating and the economy is growing and you're going into new geographies and the business is growing, it's very easy to say, okay, so if we continue this 15-20% growth per year, then it should be in 2 years, we should have X number of people. We've got to start planning for those people now. We've got to start training them up in a certain way. And you're sort of in this mindset of how do we make sure that we're skilled up or tooled up to take advantage of all this growth. And then all of a sudden, boom, the economy's sort of gone the other way, or the growth doesn't materialize as quickly as it is, or gee, you've got to defer one thing or the other. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, we're sort of we're tooled up for this. And in reality, we should be, staying the course or just less steep growth curve or whatever it is, in which case sometimes there's this ricochet effect of people saying, okay, well, we've really got to cut and this is kind of the conversation between a CFO and a CEO and the entire leadership team. Okay, for certain organizations, it's the board that has some of that conversation as well. Okay, so what does this mean? What is the plan? Okay, and what are the contingencies? One of the things that certainly at the board level and in some organizations, the senior management is a question of let's do some contingency planning. Yes, here's the budget. Okay, here's the commitments for the next year or the next 2 years even. But okay, what are the different scenarios that might take place? And what might we do if it turns out that some of the numbers grow a bit faster, and some of the numbers maybe don't come in as forecasted. And just doing some very simple contingency planning, it can be as sophisticated as more spreadsheets and more plans and a huge presentations, etc., that people can critique and add to, or it can be, frankly, just a little bit of back of the napkin. Okay, so here's a couple of things that we're going to watch out for, and here's what we're likely going to do first. Because if you do some of the thinking beforehand, it's more likely that at the time of stress, of pressure, that you can act accordingly.